to meet Len Reed, another man who turned out for the Stars in 1946 and 47. Looking forward to celebrating his 96th birthday on the 18th of January 2014. Len must surely be Norwich's oldest living rider, and he's very keen to share with us his memories of this great old speedway club.
I returned to this country after being a Japanese prisoner of war on 4th of November 45.
What did you prefer, Cyril? Did you prefer the bigger tracks or the small?
I always prefer the smaller ones.
You were quite a tall rider, weren't you, yourself?
That's what I mean, yeah, I was tall. I was about 5'10", 5'10 and a half. And I weighed about 11 and a half stone, which was not massive.
Transferred me there for a colossal amount of money in those days. £1,700. That was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As well as serving Norwich well in his last years as a rider, Australian All Lawson also deserves the credit for capturing the man who, without doubt, will always be regarded as the greatest ever in the eyes of all Norwich supporters. Yes, it's time to catch up with Star's Swedish legend and the first man to win 5 individual world titles.
Norwich was a bit special. I think you will agree with me there. They had such a loyal crowd, you know. And Speedway is, it's 50 years and they're close, isn't it? And still there's lots of publicity about it all the time. And I myself still get a lot of emails, letters and so on from the old supporters.
The Norwich fans?
All the Norwich fans.
Yeah. They must have been surely the happiest days of your career from a club point of view.
It was, yes, yeah. I still think that Norwich was my only team, so to say.
Yeah, is it closest to your heart, sort of?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I was only kind of guessing for the others that I did later on. I wouldn't have done it unless they had to close Norwich. Well.
Would you like, in an ideal world, if they'd have carried on, would you like to finish your British career there?
Of course I would.
Compare with Haringey and that was the best after that.
Yeah.
Norwich.
After Haringey, Norwich was a...
Yeah, after those 50s. Yeah, that was like being in the 50s again. There were supporters, the friendliness in the club and the... That was brilliant. And the track was brilliant, yeah. Was
it?
Yeah.
The old Furs?
Yeah.
In the meeting we're watching here, Nygren, wearing a number 3 race jacket, scored an 18-point maximum against Russia. It was really only half the Russian team though. They were double booked and turned up with only 4 riders, who each had to take 9 rides each. Their hard work paid off though, because they beat Norwich by 2 points. The early 60s saw the emergence of 2 youngsters, Terry Betts and TREVOR HEDGE, who began their careers with Norwich and went on to achieve international success with other clubs for long periods following the Star's closure. Blonde bombshell Terry Betts made his big breakthrough in July 1962 when he beat Peter Craven twice at the Firs on his way to a superb 15-point maximum.
I think that was the first time I'd been to Belle Vue, never seen the place. And I can remember going up there with Norwich, and I looked over the fence, and this guy came, Peter Craven, he come round there, the first time ever, and he was full broadside by the old pit gate. He got his foot up in the footrest, full locker, and he took one hand off the handlebars and pulled the old gas gauze off where he used. And I just couldn't believe it. I thought, this is unreal, you know, because in those days it was down the straight, line it up and snap, because you didn't have flickers or nothing, you just had the old goggles, didn't you? Pull your goggles off and, you know, sort of line it up. But this guy was full chat in the middle of the corner, foot up on the footrest, and he just took one hand off like and just pulled his he just pulled it off like he's in a full sideways. And I just thought, gee, you know, and that I went on to get a 15-point maximum, beat him twice, and it was probably that stuck in me.
And you know, the most.
And of course, everybody, you know, was, oh, you know, this, that, and the other. And
TREVOR HEDGE, a former Norfolk cycle speedway champion from the village of Scotto, remembers his early days at the Firs.
I started off as cycle speedway, and I used to go to the speedway like with all my mates and all the rest of it. And I thought one day, well, I hope I'd like to do it. I know we used to go up there every week and watch it. And, I mean, they used to seem as though they went round there at 100 mile an hour, like, you know. And I thought, well, I don't know, I'm not so sure. But anyway, later on, I managed to get a bike. My mother, she bought me a bike for 15 quid. A load of junk it was really, and we put it together, and that's how I started.
Both Betsy and Hedgie remember what it was like being partnered in a race with the Fox, OVE Fundin.
well, Fundin, he was such a good rider, wasn't he? But Fundin, it was all about he had to win. It don't matter at what cost. I can remember when I was on the gate or the 10 yards, it was when the handicap racing was in. He used to say to me, you get out in front and then you move them over and let me through, you see. So, of course, start off with, you know, he come, and he didn't used to pass, he used to cut him right out the fence as he come past, take your leg away if he didn't get out of the way. You know, but that's what made him what he was, wasn't it? That's what made it. He was just, he wasn't a team man as such, really. Well, he was as regards like providing he won, but there was no such thing as second place or following him. I never ever seen him team ride anybody home. Time I was there.
Towards the end, can you remember a couple of guys that are here today, Terry Betts and TREVOR HEDGE? Can you remember them coming in as youngsters?
They came as kids, didn't they? Terry Betts came with his father all the time. And I'm 100% sure that Terry's father was more keen on speedway than Terry ever was. But Terry very soon became a very good rider. And, he looked like a kid with his blonde hair and all that, but he was a tough one. I spoke with TREVOR HEDGE a little bit about it, because he was only a kid as well when he first came. And I'm quite ashamed to say that I treated him like I treated all the others that rode together with me, because I was sort of a mean rider in the way that I used to say I want that and that gate, and I always wanted number 1 or number 2.
And
whoever was paired with me, they had to take the other one, and that was mean. But
when you look back on that now,
I regret it now.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know, there's rumours flying around that was going to be the last season, you know, and which was tragic, really. I think that's the most tragic thing, one of the most tragic things ever happened to Norwich, really, because I mean that was a terrific stadium, and I remember the last meeting we rode there. That I think there's about 4 of them. They hit the fence, went through the fence, you know, and I remember Bill Smith, the announcer, saying that you know, that's about time they closed the stadium down in a way, because everything is rotten as rotten can be.